condolences to the Mandela family. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the late Ambassador Zindzi Mandela brought home the inhumanity of the apartheid system and the unshakable resolve in the fight for freedom. Ambassador Zindziswa Mandela passed away yesterday, the 13th of July, aged 59. Her Danish counterpart, Ambassador Tobias Elling Rehfeld, tweeted his condolences yesterday, and he joins us now via Skype. A very good morning to you, Ambassador Rehfeld, and thank you so much for making the time. How has Denmark responded to the passing of its outgoing SA ambassador?
Good morning, Desiree, and thank you for inviting me in. Well, first of all, I want to express on behalf of the Kingdom of Denmark and on behalf of the Royal Danish Embassy in South Africa, our deep condolences to the Mandela family, to the friends of Ambassador Mandela, and to her colleagues at the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. I was shocked, and I was very sad to hear that Zindzi had passed away yesterday. That is a great loss for us, and a great loss for us in the diplomatic community.
Not a lot of reflection is done on Ambassador Zindzi Mandela in terms of her work. I'm sure you saw that. I don't know if you're listening to the story that was just playing before our conversation, where much emphasis is put on that speech that she gave in 1985. But in terms of her work, what was your experience working with her?
Yes, that's true. I think that was a defining moment when she read that letter by her father. But there's so much more to Zindzi Mandela afterwards. I mean, she was a struggle icon. She was a person with strong, sometimes controversial political positions. But she was also an ambassador for the Republic of South Africa. And she worked in the shadows for many years to build that historical friendship that exists between South Africa and Denmark, to help bring into life the vision of her father in a very tangible way. We all support the Friends of South Africa, deeply support the vision of Nelson Mandela. But today, 26 years after the dawn of democracy in South Africa, we have to find ways of making that tangible results. And Zindzi Mandela was very active in finding ways where we can create economic prosperity, jobs in South Africa, open up cultural and personal relationships between South Africa and Denmark. And I was very fortunate to work with her in that endeavor.
You talk about the Friends of South Africa. Just remind our viewers about the role of Denmark in the fight against apartheid.
Well, I think it's clear, it was very clear for the Danish government, but really for the people of Denmark, that the great injustices that happened here in South Africa were unacceptable. We were the first country in the Western world to implement full sanctions against the apartheid regime here in South Africa. And for many, many years, during the dark years of the struggle, we helped the liberation movements and supported them the best we could to create what we all hoped for, which was the dawn of a free and fair South Africa. Now, of course, that dawn is just the beginning. The vision of Nelson Mandela, the vision that Zindzi worked for, is a daily struggle to implement. And if friendship are to mean something, we cannot just help in the initial phase. We have to help every day. And I think that was the vision that Zindzi and I worked to achieve. How can we, in our daily jobs, in our daily work, do our part to implement that vision? I think we come a long way, and I think Zindzi played a very important part in the shadows as an ambassador to Denmark, and we did many things together, things that are not normally seen in the public eyes, creating bonds, facilitating contacts between politicians, and so on.
But the very things we would like to find out about today, how did she bring her activism to bear in her work as a diplomat?
Well, I think first and foremost, Zindzi had a lot of energy. And that's an energy that really is so important in the diplomatic line of work. Because when all comes to all, it's a question of personal relationships. And Zindzi was a very loving, very outgoing person, full of energy, which means that she could come into a room, come into a meeting, and create an atmosphere where people want to hear each other, where people want to cooperate. And I think that's what we're looking for in the diplomatic line of work. Can we create connections between people? Then we can create results.
What will you miss most about working with her?
Well, I will miss many things. I will miss picking up the phones and having a very frank, very informal discussion about issues of difficulty, of just the informality of our relationship. I think that is something I will dearly miss. But my loss is just a small loss compared to the loss of South Africa. I think what we've heard in the last couple of days is that, Zindzi meant a lot of things for a lot of people, and I think many of us will miss her.
We know she was no ordinary ambassador. She was a Mandela after all. How did having a Mandela in your midst, as in the Danish, affect South Africa's presence in Denmark?
Well, first of all, I think we were honored that a Mandela was serving as an ambassador in Denmark. I think we saw it as a testament. We saw it as a test to the fact that we have such a close and strong relationship. So for us, of course, the fact that it was a Mandela meant great many things for us. But I think in reality, more importantly was the personality of Zindzi. That is what really meant something, that the energy she could bring to the work and the creativity she could bring to making our old friendship new, creating tangible results.
Are there any events taking place in Denmark to mark her passing?
I'm not quite sure. I think it's such a shock for all of us. None of us knew that she was ill. I know already now Danish newspapers are writing about the life of Zindzi, and there's a lot of tributes coming in. I'm not aware if there will be any specific memorial ceremony, but for sure there's a lot of love and a lot of condolences heading towards the Mandela family as we speak in Denmark.
Ambassador, thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.
There was a Danish ambassador to South Africa, Ambassador Tobias Elling Rehfeld, reflecting on his working relationship with the late Ambassador Zindzi Mandela.